No introduction, let's get straight into it. Power creep, and specifically power creep in Marvel Rivals. Alright, first off, what is power creep? Power creep is when something new comes out, mainly in gaming, and is flat out better than something that is older. This isn't limited at all to character additions, it can also apply in the case of new abilities or even buff effects for older characters. A good example is Brigitte from Overwatch. She immediately required that other people around her become better or she be nerfed, and they didn't nerf her enough, so therefore everybody else became better to match her. She made the game overall stronger, like every character. Alright, now, how is it implemented? Power creep can be very, very quick or very, very gradual, depending on the case. Gradual power creep can be seen in something like Overwatch, mainly, where many new heroes were really just slightly better than previous release characters. If you play Overwatch, or if you have played Overwatch, you see a character like Sigma in comparison to somebody like Reinhardt on launch, should I say. Reinhardt on launch was flat out weaker than Sigma on launch, which you may think, oh, it's later on. That kind of makes sense. It's a newer character. That's power creep. You are agreeing to power creep. That you understand what it is. Instant power creep can be seen in something like Apex Legends with Seer. Seer was so broken beyond belief that now every single character is flat out better, and became flat out better in a very short amount of time because he was implemented. His existence demanded stronger characters to be around, and it got exactly that. Alright, now the key issues. Why is power creep bad? Now, number one, older characters can feel obsolete. In games like hero shooters, this isn't the case as much because you can go back and buff older characters. But in games something like Yu-Gi-Oh!, it's clear. A deck from year 1 of Yu-Gi-Oh! Could never compete with a year 11 or a year 20 deck. It's just flat out impossible because of how bad the power creep was. Though even in hero shooters, you can buff older characters to make them match the newer ones. That's power creep, and we'll get into that a lot in this video. Now, number 2, skill expression can be killed. If the only thing determining a fight is big numbers, it can lower the skill ceiling whilst raising the floor. If a character like Squirrel Girl is buffed, think of it this way. If a character like Squirrel Girl is buffed, while other characters around her, like let's say Gambit, are being buffed. Gambit is a complex character. There's many ways to buff him. Squirrel Girl, more than likely with a buff, would just gain damage. That's just flat out numerics. That can make the game far less interesting because now she's far more volatile and she is buffed, but now she is far more annoying, flat out. Now, number 3, fun can be lost really easily with this. Casual players may be discouraged if they feel that the new characters are too strong or complex, or they may be turned off from the game if they go on and they try to play one of their favorite characters and they're just getting steamrolled by a new character. Imagine somebody that played Doctor Strange, let's say. They're not the greatest, they just play Doctor Strange, mainly. And they have to play against on launch Emma. That would be miserable. They would probably not want to play the game because Emma Frost is so good. She demands that you play her or you lose, essentially. Now, a personal example, myself, is that I don't enjoy playing Marvel Rivals as much as I really used to. I really find myself just not playing Marvel Rivals and even looking at it and just deciding not to play it. And while yes, I'm playing other games such as Battlefield 6 that I just got, it's clear that I'm not feeling as giddy to play it as I once used to be. Now, why do I avoid Marvel Rivals? It's because I feel playing quick match is an unrewarding competitive match because of how complex the characters are. One example is Luna Snow. This is a minuscule change and it's going to seem like I'm complaining, but keep in mind I'm a support main. I usually play tank or support. I never dive, so I probably, in theory, I should have no reason to complain about Luna Snow. Her being able to get a snowflake on herself was really stupid. I don't know why they would do that of all balance changes. Luna Snow was one of the best healers because of her numeric output, and now because everybody else around her got buffed so hard, she lost her title as the best healer because everybody else got so good at healing. A character like Invisible Woman is now better at healing than Luna Snow. That's power creep. They kept buffing her and buffing her and buffing her until she was flat out better than the best healer, and now the best healer is getting buffed to become the best healer once again. Now, what are the possible fixes for this? A, nerf. Nerfing overpowered characters such as really 80% of the roster could easily resolve the issue. Somebody I watched, Flats Overwatch, he had a video where he pointed out that many of the characters on the roster could get nerfed, even some of the ones that you think would be really meh. Not saying Star-Lord is a meh character, but he recommended that we nerf Star-Lord, characters like Mantis, which may sound stupid. It might sound stupid, but he's right. The game has gotten so buffed up and there's been such little nerfs to the point where everyone is really broken and everyone can turn the tide of a fight, which that would seem like a good thing. Everybody has power. Not really. Whenever everybody has the power to demolish everyone and turn the tide of a fight with a single press of a button, there's an issue, especially when ult charge is becoming easier and easier to obtain via Captain America's ult and Gambit's ult. Now buffing the weaker characters such as Adam Warlock could help all characters be on the same power level and could remedy the extreme power creep. Do I think I should do this? No, absolutely not. All right, what would I do? Nerf, it's not even a question, it's nerf. You should not buff any more characters. Many of the characters in this game don't need a buff. Adam Warlock on release, he was a bad healer, but now he's genuinely unpickable because of how much power creep is taken over. He's been left in the dust because he just never received any good buffs and nobody around him ever received any good nerfs. Now, I main support, and I have to admit that supports run the game so heavily, and it's agitating. It really is agitating because I try to play any other role, or I try to play support. And if I'm playing support and I'm not putting in my 100%, a support that's putting in their 100% is going to steamroll me, which would make sense in theory. But if I'm putting in 90% and somebody else is putting in 100%, they shouldn't be steamrolling me that bad, realistically, especially in something like quick play. All right, not that short of a video, but a pretty short video. My final thoughts. They need to revert a lot of the buffs, really. If they want to add abilities like Luna Snow's Self Snowflake, they need to nerf something else along with it. The worst they could do in that situation is make a character a little bit weaker because they removed their numerical power, but they gave them power through their abilities. Now, I've been playing Gambit as an example, and I feel he's far too broken. Whenever I started playing him, I felt like, oh my gosh, this character's gonna get nerfed. I need to lord him as soon as possible. And then I got him lorded. If y'all saw the lord stream, it took 11 hours. But I thought he was so broken that I had to lord him as fast as possible before he got nerfed. And his nerf did nothing. They upped his ult charge cost. That was it. If you look at an ultimate like Gambit's in comparison to something like, I don't know, Mantis. Mantis is like a moving zone of Gambit's ult, but a little bit worse because it doesn't give ult charge. Power creep is doing too much, and it's really making the game unfun. Thank you for watching.